three games decided by 3 points or less, 3 by 30 or more. Why is there such a big gap in performance for your team at the moment?
Yeah, it's a real Jekyll and Hyde thing we're dealing with. Because even, there's a common trend right now, and the numbers are real clear, even with the win side of it, is we're not structured offensively, and we're really hit and miss on some key points of emphasis in regards to that. So, I mean, even the Perth game, I forget what we held them to, but most times if you sit there and say, okay, you held a Perth team to 80 points roughly, you're going to walk out with a win. But that third quarter, as an example, right, was we were getting stops, but then we just weren't capitalising it on the other end. And then I think there's a hangover from that, right? So that's for the most part what we talk about with the film review. These particular shots we want to get. This is the east to west movement you sort of want to get to. Melbourne's an intimidating crowd, right? It's a real big atmosphere, and it's a great atmosphere here. And so, you could see the shots for the moments that we did run. There's a level of tightness, and so, is that the residual effect from the Perth game? We've got some hurdles to overcome in a sense of like just making shots, right? We're not shooting the ball very well at all. Like the open shots, the foul shots, the at the rim shots. And so then there's that flow-on effect of how it affects us defensively. There were stretches in that game were really good defensively, and then there's like an immediate turnover, and everything just compounds. And so, stress does a funny thing, and I think that really exposed where we sit in terms of that scale of dealing with stress, which isn't great.
Talk about turns and 26 today, which I think is top couple in franchise history in the 40-minute era. 19 the last time you were in Melbourne. Is that stress part of that?
Yeah.
I know we talked about I think we've had a few discussions around your ball handling and things like that.
Yeah.
Has it become a concern for you? You had a number of guys with 5 or more turnovers. Do you need to do something there with your ball handling?
Even when you look at what the turnovers are, and again, I can think of them off the top of my head. There's passing turnovers. Like there's ones where we get the rebound, we pass it and turn it over right in the keyway. That was after I'm pretty sure we got 3 stops in a row, then we turn it over. There are guys like sweep catch, one bounce on the rim and kicking off their foot or losing the handle and going out of bounds. There are turnovers, right, in a sense of like the ball pressure. But when we break the back of that full court pressure, we're able to get into our stuff. There's, illegal screens. There's, turnovers off the pass. There's just turnovers of, Lockie had one where he just slipped on the court, right? So that is, yes, we can sit here and talk about, the ball handling side of things, but I feel like that still falls into that category of, when it rains, it pours. And so the level of anxiety and stress keeps to build up. We showed against Perth, even the turnovers that we had against pressure were few compared to the unforced ones, right? It was just again, out of those 26, I don't know the exact number, but I would argue that 15 of those were just errors, unforced errors. And so that's not great, and it's something to address. But I think it falls into the same category of some of the other areas we need to work on.
So there's no magic sort of fix for stress and tightness and that sort of stuff. What do you do to address it? What are you doing and what can you do?
Yeah, well, this is where we got a fantastic person in Jody who's going to be burdened with all this, and she's going to work her magic. But again, it's from the coaching perspective, whether you lose by 3 or 33, whether you scored 60 points or 110 points, you sort of have to prepare the week rolling into another home game. And we did that, we have been doing that for the most part. We got whooped by Southeast in the first game. We could make excuses why, but then we roll in and had a real good game against Brisbane. We lose a big margin to Adelaide, then we have a real good game against Perth. We've had a real big loss to Melbourne. Now we're going to prepare for Adelaide with the idea that you sort of have to wash it. But the problem is now, there's things, right, where guys do have to, it's not 1 game or 2 games. We got guys that are going to have to overcome some hurdles and we'll support that and work through that. But it's not going to be an easy fix of doing ball handling drills. It's got to be something that's more upstairs than anything else.
Jack McVeigh, one of the best scorers in Australia, fair enough to say. Only had 6 shots today. how much of that is on him and how much of that is on coaching staff and running plays for him and things like that? Like, give us an understanding of that.
Yeah, it's a little bit layered, and you want to be clear on what you're giving out, right? What you're conscious of, like information in terms of scout and related and so forth like that. That's probably something we're going to try and address later on. I don't have too much content or detail for you in that regards at the moment.
You'd want him to shoot more than 6 shots.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think Jack as well is a phenomenal basketball player. And if you watch those clips back, he makes the right read a lot. So, 6 shots, and 100% we have to find ways to get him the ball. But Melbourne are a physical team. They deny the 4 a lot, deny second side, and Jack's going to make the right play. So at times it shows up on the box seat score with 6 shots, but Jack's a great basketball player. He's not the guy who's going to shoot over 4 people, because that's not a good basketball shot, right? So I think we need to do a better good job of getting him into his position where he can sort of get away from the double team a little bit, stop getting denied on reversals and things like that as well. We play into that as well, but I also think Jack's a great basketball player and makes good reads.
There's a layer into that for me in terms of, so, and again, I'm not trying to shoot anyone, but Admiral Schofield has shot nearly 53 pointers this year and Jack shot 15. I would suggest outside looking in, you'd want Jack to have 50 and him to have 15. Is that fair enough?
Well, the big thing is you look at like a lot of these teams, and Melbourne's an example of that, is they're daring others to shoot. So you send in extras, and that's what Adelaide did. They're daring others to shoot, and this is where now this is where the assist comes from, in a sense that we need these guys to knock down those uncontested threes. I think, for example, Al overcame a real hurdle today where teams are purposely short closing him out, and he made some big threes. But he's one of 9 that are in that similar situation. So until we start making that 3-point shot, teams will just keep sending 2-3 guys to Jack, and again, it goes hand in hand.
Kyle, can you talk a bit about the inner sanctum and how it's going? Like, you obviously come off these tight wins and go, lift show, and then you have these massive losses which have got to be massively deflating. How do you keep level in these situations?
We do have an unbelievable group. We're very good friends. Everyone gets along unbelievably. And I think now it's probably around this accountability piece, looking at each other and be able to have some of those tough conversations like, hey, this isn't going well, I need you to adjust here, and things like that. And that's what we've been doing this week, and we'll continue to do moving forward. We've had our moments as a group, great moments, I'd like to add as well. And I think that they're the moments we need to tap into. When we had our great moments, what were we doing? And we just got to repeat that. I think it's as simple as that.
Forde, are you surprised at the level of stress that you're seeing from your players in certain games, and especially today? You don't have an overly young group. You have a mixture, but you have some great veterans. Kyle, Marcus, Jack have been around. Like, people who've played a lot. Andrew, are you surprised that you're having these spurts where players seem like giving up a 25-0 run today? Like, that should not happen, obviously. So,
yeah, no, it is surprising. It 100%, and that's where, again, like, we'll work with Jody and navigate how we overcome these little hurdles. I think, again, like we referred to like last year, for example, and again when we had those injuries and so forth and that losing streak, but there was games where, again, out of that 15, there was 10 that were determined in the last 4 minutes. Like, with less talent, we're still super competitive. Maybe that's the free swing mindset. Maybe that's a little bit of that underdog mentality. But there's like being, again, when you're a professional athlete, you're open to criticism, and so it's not only the stress of the basketball game itself, but it's all the outside influences. As I said to the guys, you're in a fishbowl looking in. You're in a fishbowl and everybody's looking in, and that fishbowl gives a distorted view. So that's a burden that some guys can navigate and get through. The more you miss, the more you tighten up. There almost has to be a sense of like free, like just play fearless, just live with the result, play hard, and as I was saying, the sun's going to rise. Your family's going to love you. You got responsibilities in life. This should be an outlet that we get to play a game where for 40 minutes or for 2-hour time slot, whatever it is, you don't have to worry about any of that. You just go play basketball, and I think sometimes we've got to be reminded of that, and we take things too seriously. It's work in progress, but the big thing is the guys have always responded, and I expect them to respond this week, and we'll move forward.
Kyle, it's obviously a fairly new group this year, a number of new faces. places and playing key roles. Is it clear out there on the floor who are the leaders? Like, again, I come back to that 25-0 run, and then when you're in the midst of that, like, are you guys clear who's kind of setting the tone, and you know, when you huddle up in between plays and try and make directions?
We've got our leadership group and our voices in huddles for sure. So yeah, no, I think it's definitely very clear. Yeah.
So how do you kind of explain where that can happen? You know, in the midst of everything going wrong all at once.
Look, I mean,
wait, hang on.
sorry.
What are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying.
There are times where things are going particularly wrong in a game and it exacerbates, and you know, normally a team that has veterans will huddle up and they'll make some adjustments, and usually you can send the tie. Like a 25-0 run is a bit excessive. You know, I've been around a long time, so have you, 40. You know, anything north of like 15, it's getting out of control. So to me, that kind of says that, and I could be completely wrong, but to me that kind of says you haven't quite figured out how to, as a group, make those in-game adjustments or corrections on the fly. And I don't know whether that's a function of leadership or just being a new group or what, and obviously it's early in the season, but I'm just trying to see what's going on to allow that. Maybe I'm reading way too much into it.
Yeah, I still don't know, like, are you saying that someone's like, that's what I'm sort of getting at. I don't understand.
Like, is there a loud enough voice that everyone kind of knows who to turn to in those situations to, you know, that kind of thing, or is it still being figured out?
I think definitely is. Definitely is. Yeah.
Kyle, how do you, I mean, you've been around the league a long time. Does that chemistry offensively just come with time as a team, or is there something you can really do to sort of, you know, jumpstart or kickstart that? I mean, obviously early in the season as well.
Yeah, it always. I mean, everything takes time, you know, for sure. I think one thing here too is Melbourne's been a great pressure team for a really long time. I think everybody understands that. So I think it's just about us getting detail, getting to our spots on the floor, just getting back to the basics offensively and starting from there. We've got a lot of talent on the floor, all those sorts of things. So chemistry does build naturally over time. That's not a question. And right now, we've obviously got to get that going as quick as possible.
So how do you try not to sort of, you know, overreact to, I guess, games like this or games that might be outliers here or there as a leader, and, you know, just like Mick said before, you know, keep a level head, you know, as you know, a veteran of this group?
I've been on teams that have started worse and finished better. Simple as that. Yep.
The big thing too is, and again, when we talk about leadership and the scoring, is like, you know, Wardenberg's a massive piece in this. And so, you know, now we want to be careful that we don't sit here and say that he's the holy grail answer to this. You know, we want to make sure that we're still, you know, stacking days. So when Wardenberg comes in, the burden of being, you know, 30 points plus is not solely on him. But, you know, Wardenberg's our captain. This is what we talk about. Like, Wardenberg's been our captain. Him being out's a massive loss, and you know, we're still finding our way with virtually that brand new starting five. Is it taking longer than other teams? 100%, right? And this impacts that. But again, you stack days, you move on, we train, we prepare, and again, like Perth stung probably more. As crazy as it sounds, Perth stung more than this one because we felt like we should have won that one. Whereas this one, we're like, all right, we're getting our asses beat, right? But the Perth one stings because that one was probably winnable. We should have won it, and we found a way to lose. Cool. You move on and prepare for the next one.
Last question, please. Have you got a target date for Sam to come back, and what does it look like? Does he play the 4 or the 5 in your head?
Yeah, I'm not answering that.
Is there a target date for him to return?
Yeah, I'm not answering that.
Very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, everyone.